This episode is provided by Thomas Allgeier and Freenus, based on the most relevant LinkedIn posts about go-to-market in calendar weeks 14 and 15. Freenus is a B2B market research partner helping ICT and tech providers identify niche channel partners by compressing the full journey from identification to qualified first meeting into 4 to 5 weeks. You can find more info in the description.
Awesome. So let's get into it.
Yeah, welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at the top go-to-market trends seen across LinkedIn over the past 2 weeks. And I gotta say, looking at the source material, it's kind of mind-blowing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the landscape of B2B marketing right now is just undergoing this massive, almost violent shift.
Right.
For a decade, the default was just, buy more software. But now we're moving away from those bloated tech stacks to these really lean, highly orchestrated AI-native engines. And we're going to break down exactly how top professionals are adapting to that.
Exactly. So let's start with that compression, because before we can even talk about the advanced AI stuff, we really have to look at the mess that most TTM teams are currently dealing with.
The famous Frankenstack.
The Frankenstack, yes. Like, a decade ago, your setup was maybe 2 tools, right? You had a CRM and maybe a marketing automation platform.
Yep, simple.
But Daniel Sachs posted this brilliant breakdown of how that evolved into, 12 or 15 different siloed platforms today. It just got so expensive.
It did. Sachs pointed out that basically every new layer was bought to patch a limitation of the last layer. Your CRM couldn't do outreach, so you bought a sales engagement platform.
Right.
But then you didn't know who to email, so you added Zoom info. Then you needed intent data, then workflow automation. And suddenly, as Sachs noted, that 12-plus tool stack is now just collapsing. It's condensing into one agentic system. The era of buying a tool for every single problem is just ending.
Which is wild. And there's actually hard data backing that up now. Brendan Short did this analysis of the GTM tech stacks of the 63 fastest growing B2B companies.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. The hypergrowth ones.
Exactly. And the numbers are staggering. He found that a massive 65% of them are using Clay as their core orchestration layer.
Wow. Over half.
Yeah. But here's the crazy part. Exactly 0 of them, 0%, are using off-the-shelf AI SDRs. They're just not buying those prepackaged bot reps. They are building these custom lean systems themselves.
Yeah, because the off-the-shelf stuff just doesn't cut it for the top tier.
Okay, but let's unpack this for a second, because I want to push back. Doesn't consolidating all those tools mean we lose specialized capabilities?
Well, I mean...
Like, it feels like moving from this really precise toolbox of specialized instruments to, just trying to build a house with the Swiss Army knife.
I get that fear, but it's not really about sacrificing the capability. Madja Vosgier had a really great insight on this. She consults with these high-performing GTM teams, and she highlighted that they are not running 20 tools.
Right.
Her core stack that she laid out for 2026, it's literally just 3 tools.
Wait, really? Just 3 tools to run an entire enterprise motion?
Just 3. It's Claude Code for the research and the inbound management, then Clay for the orchestration, so the routing, the logic, all that, and then Senders for the actual outreach deliverability.
That's it.
That's the whole machine. It's about reducing that data fragmentation, not losing the power. And Tim Jakobsen added to this too. He noted that moving the heavy logic out of orchestration tools and into native AI like Claude Code is actually cutting costs by like 3 to 10 times.
Oh, wow. 3 to 10 times cheaper.
Yeah, and you get better output.
Okay, so since the stack is collapsing into these agentic systems, we should probably talk about the actual tech driving it. Because engineers are basically turning AI chatbots into full-blown operating systems now.
Yes, the AI native GTM theme. This is where it gets really sci-fi.
Right. So Kenny Damian and Jan Brokvich, they posted about how they're running their entire GTM stacks strictly from a terminal.
Yeah, just a command line.
Exactly. They use Claude Code combined with 12 MCPs.
Which is just wild to think about.
Yeah.
And for anyone listening who might not be deep in the dev side, an MCP is a model context protocol. It's basically the connective tissue.
Like giving the AI hands to use other tools.
Exactly. Instead of you copying and pasting from a chat window, the MCP lets the AI terminal autonomously reach into HubSpot, pull CRM data, scrape a lead with Apollo, and launch an instantly campaign.
Without even switching tabs.
Right. You never leave the terminal. Benjamin Lyons actually shared this 10-step daily operating system he built. He essentially has Claude acting as his chief of staff.
Oh, the one who does the pipeline pulls.
Yes. It pulls the pipeline, and it even builds his QBR slides for him.
See, okay, here's where it gets really interesting to me, but I have to play devil's advocate again. Isn't this just trading tool bloat for infrastructure bloat?
How do you mean?
Well, instead of managing 15 vendor subscriptions, now you're managing these incredibly complex API connections. You're duct taping all this custom automation to an AI. If an API updates, doesn't it all just break?
It's a super valid point, and honestly, a few months ago, you'd be entirely right. You needed a full-time engineer just to keep the duct tape holding.
Yeah.
But Nicholas Schell posted about a massive update from Anthropic that changes this.
Oh, the managed agents.
Exactly. They released Claude Managed Agents, and it completely eliminates those infrastructure headaches. It handles the state management natively.
So it fixes its own errors.
Yeah, error handling, retries, sandboxing, it's all built in. Schell pointed out that GTM teams can now go from a prototype to full production in a matter of days. You don't need a massive engineering lift anymore to build reliable sales automation.
That is huge. Because if the infrastructure is basically handled for you and execution becomes virtually free and instantaneous, well, then volume is definitely no longer a competitive advantage, right?
Oh, volume is dead. If everyone can send 10,000 perfect emails a minute, the only differentiator left is context.
Context-led execution. That's our next big theme from the deep dive.
Right, because you need to know exactly who you're targeting and precisely what to say. Adam Carr shared a perfect example of this with the Apollo acquisition of Tocus.
Right, I saw that.
That's a huge deal because it unites the data layer, which is Apollo, with the signal layer, which was POCUS.
So it shifts the whole focus for the rep. Instead of them waking up and asking, who should I call today? The system just tells them, here's exactly what you need to say to this specific person right now.
Exactly. And we saw this exact same philosophy at the Demandbase Carev event in London recently.
Oh, yes. Gabe Rogel and Rachel Truer, they launched Demandbase AI there.
Yeah, and their whole pitch was shifting away from just handing reps a list of disconnected intent signals. It's now about coordinating the actual execution across the entire buying group.
Because it's never just one buyer, right? It's a committee. And the insights from the attendees at that event were so good. Sharon S. and Paul Gibson both shared this really critical insight. They basically said that AI without proper context just creates, what do they call it? Workslop.
Yes, and brain fry.
Brain fry, exactly. I love that quote they shared. AI shouldn't do our art so we have time for laundry. It should do our laundry so we can focus on the art of selling.
It's such a brilliant way to phrase it.
But so what does this all mean for you as the listener? Like, if everyone has AI parsing these signals and doing the laundry, how do you actually stand out in the inbox?
That's the million-dollar question. And Alon even had a really stark post about this. He said that when the cost of output drops to zero, the only genuinely hard-to-copy go-to-market advantage is having a real point of view.
A point of view.
Yeah. AI can execute way faster than us, but it can't have a real human perspective.
It can't have an original thought about why the industry is broken.
Exactly. Ashakur Rahman gave a similar warning. He said that AI without that deep GTM context just creates pure noise. You have to define your ideal customer profile and map out the buyer journey completely before you even think about automating it.
Right. You can't just buy the AI and expect it to invent your strategy for you.
No, it'll just automate your mistakes.
Which brings us perfectly to our final theme, which is GTM discipline. Because AI is really just an amplifier, right? We're seeing B2B marketing return to foundational business discipline. You cannot automate a broken strategy.
You really can't. Ramin Mirza put it so bluntly. He said, AI doesn't fix a broken GTM motion. It just makes a broken motion faster.
Which is terrifying if your messaging is already bad. You're just burning your total addressable market at light speed.
Exactly. And Angela Mullen shared this amazing framework that visualizes this trap. She calls it the AI GTM maturity ladder.
Okay, break that down for us.
So she maps out these distinct levels. Level 1 is just your basic founder-led hustle. Level 2 is a basic sales-led outbound engine. Then level 3 adds marketing and goes all the way up to level 5, which is the fully automated AI-powered revenue machine. But the reason companies fail, according to Mullins, is that they try to skip levels.
They want the shiny level 5 right away.
Exactly. They haven't even mastered their basic founder-led sales or figured out what messaging works, and they try to jump straight to an AI revenue machine.
It's like putting a Ferrari engine into a go-kart chassis. It's just going to shake itself apart the second you hit the gas.
That is the perfect analogy, and Maria Scheifler noted exactly what that looks like when it shakes apart. She pointed out that pipeline problems, when you're not getting leads or they aren't converting, they're rarely just a marketing or sales failure.
Right, they're a symptom of something deeper.
Yeah, they're a symptom of misaligned GTM ownership. Sales wants one thing, marketing is targeting another, And Reggie James emphasized this too, specifically for that transition from founder-led to team-led GTM.
What was his take on it?
He said you have to document the playbook first. Before you hire a team, and definitely before you automate anything, you have to write down the exact motions that the founder is doing intuitively. Otherwise, if you just plug AI into an undocumented process, you aren't scaling a GTM motion, you're just scaling chaos.
Scaling chaos, that's a huge takeaway. You need that absolute discipline before you turn the machine on.
100%.
Well, this has been an incredible look into where the industry is heading. If you enjoyed this episode, new episodes drop every 2 weeks. Also, check out our other editions on account-based marketing, field marketing, channel marketing, MarTech, social selling, and AI in B2B marketing. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, thanks for listening. And I just want to leave you with one final thought to mull over based on everything we've talked about today. If AI agents are now capable of talking to other AI agents to negotiate software purchases, which we're seeing with the rise of buying and selling agents, what happens to your brand when your buyer isn't even human? In a world where AI decides the shortlist, how do you market to an algorithm?